since the beginning of the epic anyway down there in Kempsey. Number 1, your rider Dan Colt, and the horse. In real competitor makes his way onto the course, Dan Colt. Number 2 comes in, William I did mention before, but the sponsors for the Infinity Incentive Campdraft, Tullantalla Beef. You'll see Owen family out there and Rick and Ange Swan working the backyards throughout the course of the weekend as we go forward, and also providing the meat for that charity auction up at the main bar tomorrow evening. As I said previously, I get the opportunity to look at that meat as I were unpacking it there last night, and by gee, it looks good. Round number one, heading towards peg number two for our upper foot man. Cut back under him. So cutout score of 16. 16 for Hell's Charm and Benny Thompson. Charlie Chevalier takes his turn in the cutout yard on Mr. Review. As Charlie works outside, William Allen can come in at 15. And the whip falls on a 20 for Charlie. As I mentioned earlier, he's just done so much work over the last 2 or 3 days. He's been in charge of virtually everything in the construction of this arena. So thanks for your help, Charlie and Liv. Number 15 is William Allen on Rod Law, Signify. Number 16 to the gate will be Jacob Brown on Bacardi. Number 17, Brett Meyer. Number 18, Graham Pinkston. Outside for our Eagle Bar competitor at a 20 for cutout. Not a lot of joy outside. But it's good to have the Allen family with us for the weekend up here in Glen Innes. They would have bought a jumper. So Brownie rides in. This is Jacob Brown riding Andrew Sumble's nomination Bacardi. Brett Meyer will go to the gate at 17. Graham Pinkstone will be 18. 19, Dan Maloney. Number 20, Benny Thompson. Number 21, Anna Hoy. And 22, Clancy Pryor. Well, the 22, it was started right for Jacob Brown. Jacob's won more camp drafts than I've had hot breakfast. Unfortunately, the Speckle Park didn't respect a lot of that and went a hard right off the face of the camp. What's that? I've had a lot of hot breakfast, actually, yeah. Not many dinners, though. Sometimes they were cold. So Brett Meyer, number 17 in the draw on Mayweather. Bert's at the gate at 18. Number 19, Dan Maloney. 20, Ben Thompson. Pretty handy competitor in the saddle. This is your Gundawindi man, Brett Meyer. We'll lean on him around the bottom of the second, take him a bit wide, and a 20 will remain the score for Brett. 20 for your Gundawindi man, Brett Meyer. Graham Pinkstone comes in. This is G-Dub Whisper. Again, Bert's been around this concept since the very, very beginning. It's good to have him up here with us for the weekend, number 18. Graham Pinkstone riding G-Dub Whisper. 19 to the gate, Dan Maloney, 20 Ben Thompson, 21 Anna Hoy, 22 Clancy Pryor. Just a reminder too that the classifications from 3 to 5 over at the Yarraford Hall or the yearling selling arena just beside it, we'll do those classifications from 3 to 5. Also for those sale horse vendors, you can catch up with the auctioneers over there and discover just what sorts of clowns they will be. So outside for Bert. One that's going to drag into the bottom end of the arena, so no luck, but good to have you here, mate. 15 for Cutout. Number 19 should be next. Dan Maloney on Scaredy Cat. To the gate will be Ben if he's ready. Ben Thompson on Fantail. 21 will be Anna. 22 Clancy Pryor. Number 23 Lockie Byrne. Number 24 Gemma Beaumont. Number 25 will be Steve Blackadder. Number 26 will be Luke Bennett. Change the pens for Dan just while we do that. A special thanks once again to our sponsors of this particular event, Tulla Beef, on board as sponsors again this year. If you'd like to go through a list of sponsors which include our event partners, Grazag, of course Taylor's Livestock and Heavy Haulage from right here in Glen Innes, Morrow Made Saddles, Ben and Jess Morrow, Tulla Beef, So 19 for Dan Maloney and Scaredy Cat, 19 for Cutout. Time, thanks Ben, time. So Ben Thompson and Fantail will start with a 20, I reckon. 53 and 3 will be a 76. 76 for Ben Thompson and Fantail. So the young lady that makes way into the Cutout Yard now is number 21, Anna Hoy on SCH Smart Times. Saw a foal out of this mare competing just before in the Epic. Lot number 109 in the sale tomorrow. This wonderful, wonderful open mare. SCH Smart Times has been an absolute joy to have in the stable for Mitch and Anna. So outside for Smarty and Anna. Fortunately, a drop camp, which I don't reckon I've ever seen before. The Speckle Park that took her on. She's up and alongside and on terms now. First peg down. Number 2's looking pretty good from where I sit. She's going to... Oh, just went a bit soon. I'll leave that up to the judge, Mr. James Moorhead. He said it was 15, 55 and 3. 15 for Cutout, 55 for Horsework and 3 the course. It'll be a 7-3. Clancy Pryor in a 22 on Magic Mike to the gate. It'll be Lockie Byrne on Jill Rooster, 24. Gemma Beaumont, 25. Stephen Blackadder. Well, it's just due to the, if you just pay attention, competitors, just due to the cattle and the way they've come in, we are going to go with the second round of the Epic. So we'll just give you a few minutes at the completion of the Infinity to get your horses re-warmed up. We're going to go around with the second round of the Epic before the first round of the Stallion Draft. My apologies, but it's just we're waiting on some cattle. So second round of the Epic will be the next event, but there will be a break after this, and then we'll go on with the first round of the Stallion Draft. Clancy goes out with a 19 for Cutout. Lockie Byrne comes in on Jewel Rooster. He's number 23, and your draw number 24 will be Gemma Beaumont. One that's just going to drag Lockie to the end of the arena, and a Cutout score of 16, I reckon, will remain the score. Gemma Beaumont will come in at 24, thanks, Brooke. 25 will be Stephen Blackadder, 26 Luke Brenner, 27 Ben Thompson, 28 will be Curtis Cherry, 29 William Allen, 30 Cody Kedsley. The young lady travels out of Dorrigo. This is Gemma Beaumont. Riding Rolders Moscato. Beautiful day in Glen Innes, Tyler. Mark the date. She's small in stature but big in heart. She knows her way around a Campdraft course too. Your Dorrigo lady, Gemma Beaumont. Bad luck going to slip under the gate. A score nonetheless, and it'll go with a 21 to start with, a 56 and a 3. I reckon it'll be an 8-0, 80 on the run for Gemma Beaumont. Stephen Blackadder comes in. On Burra Bogey, Dixie Chick. To the gate will be Luke at 26, 27. Ben Thompson, 28, Curtis Cherry. One course for Blackie. Dixie Chick the mount. One down. We're going to just skate under the bottom of the second. If you want to go and purchase some wonderful handmade Campdraft reins, go and see Blackie. He'll have some on hand. The other bloke that's on hand too over the course of the weekend, I just saw his vehicle as I drove in, is Mike from Tenterfield with his raincoats. It will rain again, people. You will need a raincoat again at some stage. So Mike's on hand. He's got some of his very, very good raincoats over there. Number 26, your local man, Luke Bennett, Brenwan Rockstar. Also was purchased by the Taylor family just last year out of the Epic. Good gelding was sold by Darby Ryan. Brenwan Rockstar, number 26 in the draw. To the gates, Ben Thompson at 27, 28, Curtis Cherry, 29, William Allen, 30, Cody Kedsley, 31, Denny Farley, 32, Jacob Brown. Brenwan Rockstar, Luke Bennett. Pretty versatile gelding. He's been challenged in Campdraft. I was talking to Luke last week. He was breaking in team rope and steers, so he can do a bit of everything. Probably shouldn't have mentioned that to Luke Bennett. He probably didn't know that. I was going to say Luke Bennett will not miss him from there. So it started with a 21 for Rockstar. It'll finish with a 4. The bit in the middle will be a 5-9. It'll be an 8-4. 84 on the run. I reckon that'll slip him into third place, round number 1 of the Infinity. Should be good enough to get him a run back in the finals here on Saturday evening. Another run for Benny Thompson, who hasn't enjoyed a whole lot of luck, but the more luck that he doesn't enjoy, the harder he rides, the better he'll go. Benny Thompson, Rod Law, Trixination, 28 to the gate. Curtis Cherry, 29, William Allen. On course, we're watching Ben Thompson. A couple of chops at first. Time, Ben. Sorry, mate. 19 for Cutout. And the luck continues for Ben. You'll turn it around, Benny Thompson. Rod Law, Trixination with a 19. Curtis Cherry comes in on Yarrawa Brownlock. To the gate will be number 29, William Allen, 30. It'll be Cody Kedsley, 31. Denny Farley, 32. Will be Jacob Brown, 33. Greg Clayton, 34. Will be Bert Pinkstone, 35. Brett Moran, 36. Will be Ben Thompson again. Watching Yarrawal Brownlock, horse that was purchased out of the Epic a couple of years ago. One's going to lead on Curtis. It wasn't for lack of trying. Going to beat him under the bottom of the second and 18 for Cutout. So young William Ellum comes in on Miss Hot Socks this time. Yugle Bar Man, and at 29.30 to the gate is Cody Kedsley. Half a dozen riders left in this, and as I did tell you before, we're going to go on with the second round of the Epic after this, so there'll be a short break. We'll change cattle around, then we'll go back with the second round of the Epic. But in the meantime, we'll pay attention to the camp. This is your Yugle Bar Man, William Ellum, Miss Hot Socks. Right, just a reminder too, once again, what do you call them? Classifications. Whew, try saying that 3 times fast. Classifications from 3 o'clock over there at the Yarraford Hall. Yeah, I'm going to get Abe Graham to slip up here. Yeah. You can do it, Judy, can't you? Man used to chasing those very, very good Santa cattle around the hills down there in the Yugle Bar station. But no luck with the Speckles today in a 21, and a good run start at 21 for Cutout, but that'll remain the score for William Ellum and Miss Hot Socks. Cody Kedsley, Batgirl, comes in. Man that should know a bit about chasing Speckles. Number 31 to the gate, Denny Farley. Righto, Cody Kedsley. Just talking about that alpha incentive to on Saturday night for those riders under 25. Well, from up here, Cody looks like he's got the Speckle Park on rails. Bit of riding now, just going to drag him around the top of the gate, but a good effort, Cody. Cody Kedsley, Batgirl, score of 20 for Cutout, 56 and 3 for a 79. 20, 56 and 3 for a 79. Danny Farley, El Chapo, in at 31. To the gate will be Jacob on Trotters, Jolene. 33 is Greg Clayton, 34 is Bert, 35 Brett Meyer, and 36 Ben Thompson, and that was all she wrote. That'll be the end of the round of the Infinity Incentive. We don't see that happen to Denny too often. One pushed against him off the first, and a 21 remains the score. 21 for Denny and El Chapo. Jacob Brown, your Casino Man rides in, or more precisely, your Malangany Man rides in. Trotters, Jolene. Greg Clayton will move to the gate on Luke at 33. 34 will be Bert. Bad luck, Brownie. 19 for Cutout. No joy outside. Andy Somerville. Busted. Do you want to slip up here and do some announcing? Try not to look so keen about it. Your voice should be warmed up. They tell me you're the gun auctioneer at Armadale Sale today. The cattle buyer say it was about time they got a decent auctioneer there. Right, I'm back on the job. Greg Clayton on Luke. I should. So Greg Sparrow Clayton in the saddle. Luke, the name of the horse, had a lot of success over his career in the Big Creamy. He's going to get a speckle that's not going to want to play the game, and a 20 for Cutout for Greg. Andy Somerville. Just cancel that last request, mate, because you're needed at the auctioneers meetings too, mate. Sorry, forgot about that. Nice Cutout starter for Greg Clayton. One pull to move and snuck down to the fence. Ooh, dropped him back and was really trying to attack the first peg. Unfortunately, not quite. And a 15 for Cutout. 2 to run, Brett Meyer. Bulmer's Prince this time. And our final competitor of the gate will be Ben Thompson on Yanrallick Louise. So Brett travels from Gundawindi. Good to have him in here for the weekend. Brett Meyer on Bulmer's Prince. He covers some ground. Bulmer's Prince. Gelding by Malingany Sampson heads up and around towards the gate with your Gundawindi man in the saddle. Yeah, good work. Drop camp at a nice run outside. Our judge, Mr. James Moorhead, said it was worth a 6-2. So 15, 62 and 4. Been 8-1. 8-1. Not a lot of scores, so I reckon 8-1 will put him in outright 4th or 5th. Congratulations, Brett. We'll see you again in the final, I would reckon. Benny Thompson will have a bit to say about that, particularly on Louise, and our last competitor. Number 36, Benny Thompson, Yanrallick Louise. Currently got a couple of 84s as joint leaders. That's not safe. Yeah, actually, we might have to run a Cutout off too, Tyler, I reckon. I think we've got a few at 22. No, sorry. I reckon we've got 3 on 22s, unless that changes. At a 22, so make that 4, I reckon. Benny, don't unsaddle. 22 for Cutout. Righto, so I reckon we'll have to run this Cutout off. So if you had a 22, and I reckon that'll be Curtis Cherry, Cody Kedsley, Jacob Brown, and of course Ben Thompson. There's 4 on 22. If we've got cattle, I reckon we'll run that cutout off before we go on with round number 2 of the Epic. So all those scorers on 22. So I'll just repeat them. Benny Thompson on Louise. Curtis Cherry on Jake. Cody Kedsley on Glamour Cat. And Jacob Brown on Andrew Somerville's Bacardi. We'll do a quick draw out of a hat here. We'll get you fellas back in. We'll run this cutout off 4 on 22. Just when Curtis has changed horses, we'll make him do a bit of a quick shuffle around. So I'll just give those riders a few minutes. There's a couple of these fellows that have changed horses, so just afford them the luxury of a few minutes. We'll come back and run this cutout off. Just a reminder that the bar is open. The bar is open. Plenty of food vendors too. We've got the pizza on wheels and the More Than Coffee behind us, and up the top we've got the street food van, the coffee van, and of course Ed's a tucker box. So you're spoiled for choice by the way of food.
Going to get underway with the cutout for the Infinity Incentive Camp Draft. First in, we've got Curtis Cherry on Jake. On camp now we have Curtis Cherry on Illawong Jake. Next in we'll have Ben Thompson on Louise, and then Cody Kedsley on Glamour Cat, followed by Jacob Brown. There for Curtis Cherry on Illawong Jake. Next in we've got Ben Thompson on Louise. Dean, thank you, Ben. Next on camp, we've got Cody Kedsley, Glamour Cat, followed by Jacob Brown, Bacardi. Cody and Glamour Cat. Next in, we've got Jacob Brown and Bacardi. Of those competitors in the Epic Camp Draft, we're going on with round 2 of the Epic after this cutout, followed by the first round of the Stallion Camp Draft. Out first home for Jacob Brown and Andy Somerville's Bacardi. 20 cut out there. Congratulations, Jacob. All competitors for the Epic, if you can start making your way to the arena, we'll have a short break, but we will go on with round 2 of the Epic before we kick into our Stallion Draft later this afternoon. To all of our sale vendors, quarter horse and stock horse classifications are over beside the yearling ring in the stud cattle area. If everyone could make their way over there to see the AQHA and ASHA guys to get their horses classified for the sale. You'll also find your auctioneers over there this afternoon to do your vendor meetings. In particular, if we could have the yearling sale vendors over to see your auctioneers this afternoon ahead of tomorrow's sale.
Righto, competitors, while we wait for our judge, Mr. Hugh Miles, for the second round of the Epic Camp Draft. For those that were in the Infinity Camp Draft, there was 9 first-round scores, so all of you will proceed into the final on Saturday night. A draw will be completed and notifications will be sent out. Also, the Open Camp Draft notifications for draws will be sent out later this afternoon for the second round at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Epic round 2 competitors, our judge Hugh Miles is here ready to go. If we could get 2 people to the front gate and all of our competitors by the camp, we're not far away from going into round 2 of the Epic Incentive Camp Draft. First out will be George Mathewson and Bella. Second, we've got Max Snell on Everly Smooth Criminal. Third, Philip McCormack 4th, Curtis Cherry, and 5th, Jonathan McDonald.